Good, happy Friday. Hopefully my audio is okay. It looks like Sage, my 2-year-old's been messing with my settings. Let me know in the chat. How is the audio? My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. Excited to talk to you. We'll be answering any question you have about Amazon. We got 30 people watching live, just starting out the gate. We usually get about 70, 75 where we top out. So super excited to talk to you today. I will be speaking at Jungle Scout next Thursday. We got that webinar coming up. Also Seller App later in the month. And then I will be, I might be at Prosper coming up next year. Might see me there. More info to come on that. So super excited to engage and get things going. I'm going to scroll down and make sure the audio is good. Sounds good from Joel. Thanks for confirming, my friend. All right, so I'm going to dive in here and look at it. And by the way, I'm a little under the weather today. So if I go a little slower, that's why. Third freaking cold in 60 days. Can you believe that? What a cold and flu season we're having. And I've got like every zinc and vitamin C supplement / cough drop you can imagine going today. So we'll see how that goes. All right, David says, how do some of these Chinese companies sell items for so cheap with production, shipping fees, Amazon fees, etc.? Are they really okay making 10 or 20 cents a sale? What am I missing? So keep in mind, David, these Chinese companies can sell for a 50% net margin when their cost of goods is $1.50 and they sell for $10 and they make $1.50. There's no middleman. They're able to undercut purely off that price. And also keep in mind, the cost that you buy from a manufacturer isn't their cost of goods. That's simply their marked up because that's what they need to sell to make it when they make that transaction. So if you think about it, let's say you normally buy that COG unit for $1.50 from a manufacturer. They might only be spending 50 cents to make it to begin with. So they do have very, very good margins. And so the ability for you as an Amazon seller, you got on the left here, you got the Chinese coming in and selling direct to consumer. On the right, you got the Amazon aggregators spending more money and increasing the sophistication required to even sell on the platform. PPC costs are up 35% this year. And then on the top, you got Amazon policies crunching you in. So as a mom and pop seller, got to really weave and dive and be very careful about how to navigate all of that. Donald, new member to the channel. Thanks for joining us, Donald. We do prioritize member questions. If you want to be a member of the channel or just give us a super sticker today, make sure we read your question. Go to myamazonguy.com/YouTube and hit that join button. I like the information Sellics provides, but it's too expensive. Any other options? Maybe H10. So Sellics was probably the first to market scalable PPC automation tool. If you are spending at least $30,000 a month in PPC, you might want to consider an automated tool. A much cheaper option, Jeffrey, would be an Ad Badger. We like Ad Badger. We've had them on our podcast many, many times. And they have a way simplified version of what's available in Sellics. So you can't customize rules. It's kind of more black box, but they have a lot of cool features like keyword hunt, stuff like that. So at the end of the day, though, you still need a person to helm it every single time. You always have to have somebody helm the ship, make sure that those automated rules are set up to begin with correctly. And anytime you launch a new product or anytime you launch a new campaign, manual is definitely the way to go. Also, is there a way to obtain campaign benchmark data on my own so I can compare my campaign metrics to other advertisers in the supplements category? So Jeffrey, have you tried the Sellics benchmark report yet? So let's see. It's been a while since I've done this. I think this URL still works. It does. Okay, so if you go to myamazonguy.com/Sellics and do that, and you get your benchmark report, I actually get a nice little check every time somebody signs up for a Sellics benchmark report. They're really trying to push their tool here. It's completely free, by the way. I still get paid either way, but I am an affiliate, and it will analyze all of your PPC at the category level. Some pretty cool stuff in here, actually. We've done a bunch of videos on it. So yeah, go to myamazonguy.com/Sellics if you want to participate with that. I put the URL in the chat there. And thanks in advance for buying me a coffee. I don't drink coffee, by the way. But Mexican Coke. Yeah, Mexican, there we go. Mexican Coke or a Chipotle burrito, as I like to say. And speaking of Chipotle burritos, thank you for buying me lunch today. Cool peeps. You rock. I appreciate that. I buy a ton of junk on Amazon. Me too. I often get postcards that say leave a review. That's against terms and services. For a refund or a free gift, is it against terms if I do this? So as a customer, you can do it technically. Never heard of a customer ever getting in trouble for doing it, but it is 100% against terms of services. Massive amount of sellers getting banned for doing this. And that's why there's a fake review problem on Amazon. And so what happens is Amazon will see the data and they see, an ASIN all of a sudden get a couple hundred reviews out of nowhere, and they know it's being gamed. So what they'll do is they'll remove all the reviews, then they'll suspend the account. 10% of the top sellers, like 10 out of the top 100 sellers, don't quote me on the numbers, but something like that, out of China, got all suspended, still suspended today. And that's why we saw the market share of Chinese sellers in the top 100 shrink for the first time this year. It's because Amazon was like, don't do that. And they finally started knocking them out, which is good. Bribery is bad. Very, very bad. Happy Monday. Right back at you. Happy Monday. I'm a little under the weather. Can you tell? Happy Friday. Here we go. Hi, Steven. My 3PL sent in the wrong box of products. What happens now? Will Amazon send the products out even though the FNSKU stickers will indicate a different product, case pack? Yes, Amazon will absolutely check this product in wrong. What you need to do is ticket them and say, Amazon, I know that here's ASIN 1, what you thought I sent, but it's actually ASIN 2. I need you to move from ASIN 1's bin into ASIN 2's bin. And the FNSKU labels are correct on the box. It just got mislabeled. Please audit this. Even if they say, yes, we've audited this and we fixed it, I guarantee you're still going to have problems and customer complaints. So keep that in mind. That's going to happen. I've been through this many, many times. I have. And so what I ended up doing with my manufacturer for my glassware is I started creating shipments with only a single SKU on them. So there was no questions asked of what was supposed to be on that shipment. Why aren't my kept products features points shown? All right, that's a little typo there. I'm trying to understand that one. Key product features, I think, is what they're trying to say. So that could be a bug. It might be temporary. You might want to check your backend of Seller Central. Make sure you have the seller contribution for it. Could be a problem there. But there could be all kinds of bugs. I would do a template upload. I would file tickets. I would ask about it. A lot of things you could troubleshoot there. SC Trojan, how do you phrase in your ticket for brand name change? I know you have a service for that, but I'm deep red in my business. Would like to give it a try myself first. Appreciate it. So you have to do a template upload. You might have to delete the product for a time period. You have to unassociate it with your brand registry if it's a current brand you own. If you're switching the brand from a non-registered brand, it's much easier. You need to file tickets inside of both brand registry and in Seller Central, and you need to call Amazon Seller Support. That was a lot, wasn't it, SC Trojan? That's why we have a $1,000 service for this, because I don't know which one of those will do the fix. You have to do them all to figure out which one's going to get it to go through. And unfortunately, the option for doing a phone call it's not the one that works usually. So it's usually the hardest ones that do the actual work. But here's the service for those that are curious. Amazon brand name change. $1,000 for up to 10 ASINs, $2,000 for 30 ASINs. We helped Adam Heist do it. He even has his nice My Amazon Guy shirt on when he gave us a nice little shout out for it. We also did it for Damien, fix my brand name on Amazon fast. So a lot of information. Put the link in the chat there. Check it out. I got a bunch of FAQs as well. All of this information for free. Just click the link. But if you want to hire us to do it, all the better. We would appreciate it if you did. And I have lost myself in the queue. Going to try and find the answer to the next one. I think this is it. What can I do to mitigate returns and bad reviews? So return rates are going to be right around 3.5% baseline. Although in the new tool that they just released, they give category based reports. Obviously, clothing, way higher return rates, but 3.5% is pretty normal. Anything above 4%, sometimes you'll get an NCX report inside of Amazon where they'll flag things. Bad reviews typically come from receiving the wrong product. It's damaged when it ships, or the product just isn't what is as expected. So the number one thing you can do as a seller is sell into those objections. Make sure you read your negative reviews and address the problems, and read the NCX reports. If you guys haven't reviewed your NCX reports in some time, I highly recommend it. So I actually haven't looked at mine. So let's do this. Let's do this live. Let's see what mine look like. So I got one at very poor. Let's check that one out. So because patients, wrong item sent. 3 people have got the wrong item. Don't like that. Never a good thing to see. And so you can see the details and see like what's going on with it. 12% NCX, very poor. So you can see the actual returns. So in this one, the edge lip has excess glass. The wine glass says best wife, best wife. So you can see here's an exact thing, just like Cool Peeps was talking about. My manufacturer sent the wrong box in for that one. Bad experience for everybody involved. But you can see I only have one pour. Everything else is pretty crystal clear right now. So I could go down and be like, fair, 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 good, 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 good. Excellent. Really good stuff. So NCX report, I'll put a link in the chat. If you haven't read yours in the last 30 days, highly recommend it. Pay attention to it. Make sure you act on it. Any ad types when we can target shoppers who bought our competitors' SKUs? I don't think so. There is obviously you can advertise on their ASIN. You can do that. But if they physically purchased their product, can you advertise to them after they leave? Not to my knowledge. Some of the if they add this feature, it will be in the display targeting for sure, though. Inside of display, and I'll show this as well. So let's go create new campaign here and go into sponsored display. The ability to do some retargeting is available. For those that don't know what retargeting is, that is when you target somebody who's purchased from you previously. So you got product targeting right there. You've got optimized for impressions. This is all new. These bidding strategies, all complete new. Then in here, you got audience. And as you scroll down, you can see Amazon audience. These are pre-built segments, so like lifestyle interests. So if you want to target new moms, parents, that kind of thing. Views remarketing. This is when they viewed your product but didn't buy and come back. And then finally, purchase remarketing. So this is like half of what you're looking for. If they purchase your product, you can advertise to them again. A lot of people have a theory that if you do a bunch of advertising and then do a bunch of remarketing during the Christmas rush, that you'll be in pretty good shape. But honestly, I've never really had a good ACOS on it. I think it's just tentative, kind of a new feature. I would test it, but a little rough. The current balance field in the Amazon Seller App, is that with or without PPC spending? Depends. I think it would be with if you take the PPC spend out of the account. If you charge it to the credit card, however, which is what I recommend you do, right? So you want to make some money today, switch your payment method to a credit card, get an extra 1.5, 2 percentage points, right? So I have a Spark MasterCard and I get 2% cash back on everything I purchase, right? So of course, I'm going to put literally everything on that because 2% adds up. I mean, that's thousands of dollars in the year for a business. So I highly recommend that. And if you don't feel comfortable putting it on a credit card, I would question that because you can immediately pay it off and get that point for you. Helium10 X-ray showing that a competitive SKU with a few variants all have about the same revenue. This is because no tool on the market can tell the difference between child ASINs anymore in 80% of the categories. This was a change they made on the Amazon platform almost 18 months ago. And so what happened was they gave the same BSR to all children variations into the Amazon listing parentage. And when you have the same BSR, you can't have a different estimate. So I was actually having an argument with my CTO about this because he's been a little out of the game. He never watches my podcast. So I don't have to worry about this coming back to bite me. But I won this argument, I'll have you know. And it's because we were trying to figure out what packs we should go live with our Age of Sage smudge sticks, right? So here's what we ended up going live with. We got like a 3, a 6, and I don't even remember the actual. Let me go to the listing here. We ended up going with 3, 6, 12, 100, and then an actual smudge kit, right? These are what we had that we went live with. So the question, though, is like, okay, how many 100 packs should we build? How many 6-packs should we build? Well, when you go look at the smudge kits from the competition, right? So let's go in here and let's go to Amazon.com and type in Sage smudge kits. There's my ad. Cool. But I'm not organically number 1 for this term yet. Still working on that. Brand new product. But you can see my video. That's pretty cool. And let's see if the video plays. Oh, there it goes. It's okay. It's not a really great video, but at least it shows up. Anyway, so if we go look at this, let's go click on this, dudes. And you can see here, pretty much the same type of product. This dude's got 1,500 reviews. Now let's click this Helium X-ray button right there. And let's see what the sales look like. We're going to demonstrate exactly what Cool Peeps was talking about. Which one has all the sales? So in here, see how, let's see, where's the BSR? There it is. See how the BSR is the same on all of these? Does that mean this dude is pulling in $702,000 on his 100 pack right there? It does not. In fact, I've run the numbers on this, and I know for a fact this dude is maybe selling 10 100 packs. One of the cool things you can do to kind of troubleshoot this a little bit, go to the 100 pack, try and add some to your cart, right? And try and add like 100 of them. See how many they're actually carrying. And then once you know how much they're carrying, you can determine how much they're storing there and run some estimates based on that. But yeah, you cannot tell from product research how much is selling on a particular child. So here is how I would do it. Whatever. And I'm going to be pulling in one of these nice little cough drops. I bought like 10 different kinds of cough drops. This is the one I like the taste of these ones. So throat coat, I'm going to give a little play here, a little plug. This one tastes the best. This one tastes awful. I don't recommend these Zumicas, but they have more zinc in them. So depends on how much medicinal versus taste you're going for. Okay, so back to this though, to finish that thought out. The 3-pack, the cheapest option, I guarantee this, is always the top seller, without a doubt. It's always the cheapest option. So you can only assume that the 3-pack is getting the same amount of sales velocity. So if we click on the X-ray on my own product here, you'll see the same data basically on all of the SKUs. But I know for a fact, because I'm the seller of this, that I'm not selling 1,200 units of my 100 pack. It's not happening, right? I'm not making 200K on that particular child ACIN. It ain't happening. So my BSR is 16,000. I got some room to grow on the competition here, and we'll see what happens. But you do know though that I'm selling at least 1,200 3-packs every 30 days. That is what you do know. Really great question. I haven't covered that one in my content much at all. I got 800 videos, and that was a topic I haven't hit yet. So really good one, Cool Peeps. Still see some others having multiple videos, 2 or 3 videos for this product as their 7th image. How was that achieved? I thought we could only have one video. You can load multiple videos through the inventory upload video button. I don't think you need to though. One's sufficient. 2 tops. I wouldn't do 3. In a refund notice from Amazon, it says initiated a refund in the amount of USD 101 to so-and-so. Why would it be such a low amount of refund when my product sells for $25? You're going to have to look at the transaction report to see the reason for that. It might have just been that the shipment was late, and so they asked for a partial refund. That's typically what happens. Another refund notice email says return reason is general adjustment. What does that mean? So last question from Cool Peeps today, she says, and you are the man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You are cool. I appreciate you too. And generally speaking, a general adjustment from my understanding on the ledger is because the item was returned or found or lost, something like that typically. But if you go look at the actual P&L inside of the transaction report, inside of Seller Central, you can actually see the line item reason, and they'll give you further info. You can, there's like 100 FBA reports you can pull. Most people don't know that. So give that a whirl. Steve says, hi, Steven. Happy Friday. Can you share with us your ACOS and TACOS for your Age of Sage best sellers in the first month and the campaigns? Yes. So generally speaking, when you first launch products, you need to be 30% TACOS month 1, 20% month 2, and try and get down to the 11 to 15% by month 3. Very difficult to do so, especially with an item that's cheap, right? So if we put on screen here the Age of Sage products again, we're talking an $8 3-pack. We actually launched it at $7, and I bumped it up another price. We were worried that Amazon wasn't going to let us do small and light at the $8 price point, but supposedly our fees are still being charged to us as if it was the small and light, even though we're $1 above the price marker. We've kind of found that surprising. You can do subscribe and save too, which is cool, and you can further fund that. But yeah, ACOS can be about 100% month 1, TACOS 30%. That's pretty normal. And my goal is to get my ACOS down to 50%, and I'm going to keep it there because I want to break even on my product on ads, because I want to be at the top of Amazon's search page for smudge kits and sage smudge kits and stuff like that. But in general, 30% tacos month 1, 100% ACOS, completely normal. Month 2, try and get that down to 20% tacos and 80% ACOS. Month 3 plus, try and get closer to 11 to 15% tacos and 50% ACOS. Now, each category is a little bit different. You might have different results on that. Kevin, always good to see you. I believe Kevin says good morning from Lakeland, Florida, literally every week. You know he's a true fan. Osos, can I add a virtual bundle SKU to a comparison table in A+ content? Great question. I've never actually tried it. Does anybody know the answer to that? I actually don't know. I would suspect you can't, but that's because you can't do a sponsored product. But maybe it's possible. I don't know that I would do it, because unless you're like really out of products and you don't have anything else to position, I don't think there's any net benefit of why I would put a virtual bundle in the A+ content product module. And for those that have no idea what I'm talking about, when you scroll down to the bottom of an A+ content, this is the product module. This is my favorite module in all of A+ content. Wow, this looks a little funny, doesn't it? And in here, you can click on to each of these products and see. And so like we're trying to cross sell. We got soap. We got a Mother's Day kit on the smudge sticks in hopes people will buy them. And you can see all of what it's included in the list. But could you add a virtual bundle into that list right there? I don't think so, but I don't know either. If anybody does, please post it in the comments. What specific things do you focus on in year 2 planning with a client? So in the first 90 days, it's all about the basics. It's all about trying to make sure everything is filled in on PPC, SEO, design, and catalog. But guess what? Going into year 2, it's still the same thing. This is a cycle. It never ends. A lot of agencies are like, yeah, I'll set your SEO up, and then they never touch it again. Set it and forget it. Yeah, I'll criticize that all day long. These 4 things are what we are 10 out of 10 on as an agency, and they never end. Never end. Now, we might be launching a new product. We might be running the same playbook on some new SKUs. You know, and let's say sales are static. Maybe we can't grow your sales, and you're wondering, hey, should we still put my Amazon guy on retainer? We'll find value somewhere. We might launch you on Walmart. We might try and launch you on eBay and try and add value in new platforms, new ways, or build you a Shopify site. But 95% of our clients, we stick within Amazon and we focus on those 4 things. Great question. All about adding new products, spending more, and selling more, generate traffic, generate conversion. Osos also says, is it okay trying to upsell a product on another product's A+ content? It's a bundle for the main product. I think it's fine. Yeah, I mean, you're going to show multiple options. So like, you know, if you ever guys watch The Profit, it's like a kind of, I think it's a better version of Shark Tank, quite frankly. And this dude walks in and he buys businesses, kind of like Shark Tank, but the difference is you get a little bit more one-on-one time with this guy and the business owners. Anyway, one of my favorite episodes was the drum episode, where he talks about how there was too many customizations. Customers didn't know what to buy. So when someone called them up, they'd be like, what do you want? And the guy would be like, I don't know. I just need a drum. And they're like, well, what kind of drum? And then they would lose the sale. And so what they did was they created a good, a better, and a best model. And they made mass production of those 3 models. And that's a great model. It's a great model to have good, better, and best. So sometimes good, better, and best might be just a price break for buying more quantity, like I did on my Age of Sage smudge sticks. Other times it could be like the quality of the material, plastic, metal, right? Or maybe it's a larger size of an item. So yeah, 100% would do that. And even if it's not directly tied to the product. So you saw how in my A+ content, I'll put it on the screen again here, I talked about soap and a mom box on the smudge sticks. Why would I do that? Because somebody who buys one of these is still more likely to buy one of these other products than a random person on Amazon. So it works. It really does. Toy School says, how to optimize alt text and A+ content. Should I use commas? No commas. Should I use the phrase from keyword, or like in search terms, no repeat? Does the tag matter? Yes, the tag matters. This is a critical field, one of the most misunderstood components of selling on Amazon, and one of the ones that I'm most famous for in the space because I will fight tooth and nail that this matters. Your A+ content needs to have 500 words of text in it. It also needs to have alt text behind each photo. So if we take a random photo here, we've got all kinds of words in here in the alt text: rustic, burnable, sagebrush, camouflage, Southwest, even the word writers. I don't know why, but maybe that's what the data said. Writer's block, smudge sticks. Who knows? I don't know. And in any case, it's just a run-on keyword list, and it has absolute impact. And if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know, Steven, I don't believe you, test it yourself. Go into your alt text and put in 100 characters of Spanish keywords. Spanish, you heard me right. Add those to your indexing list, and before you make the change, you'll be at no indexing for Spanish because you don't have Spanish anywhere else, most likely. Make the change, and then within 48 hours, there's a strong chance you're going to index for Spanish. That's how you know alt text in the A+ content matters, because when you make a change, you'll see immediate results. It's actually that quick, believe it or not. Does Amazon consider unverified star rating reviews valid? They do. If so, how does Amazon weight the unverified review? Same as verified. They don't weight them as much. That much I do know. Probably 10% would be my guess. I don't think there's actual stats or details on that one. If anybody has an article or something on that, like, feel free to link it in the chat here. Michael says, I don't think my product would be a good fit for Vine. Very niche. What's the best way to approach getting early reviews? Spend lots of money on PPC. Not the answer you wanted to hear, but it's the right one. The more money you spend on PPC, the more orders you generate, the reviews will be irrelevant. I proved this multiple times when I did my Age of Sage mom box. So this mom box right here, we launched it in 3 weeks before Mother's Day, generated $144,000 in gross revenue in under 3 weeks. I had a single product review when I launched and did most of that spend. I think I only had 2 reviews by Mother's Day. So $144,000 in revenue with one single review. You don't need the reviews. I'm telling you, just make a good product that's niche and spend lots of money on PPC. It totally works. Steve says, using name brand items in a bundle with your own private label item. Any issues using the brand name and titles, bullets, and backend? A little bit. I actually did a coaching call yesterday with a new client. After they did the coaching call with me, they signed on, and they did exactly what you're describing, Steve. It was weird though, because they had like a yanked listing that wasn't in the performance notifications, and it's very rare for me to see something like that. But long story short, it does happen. You can get a yank for using a trademark infringement when you have a bundle. So what I recommend you do is have your own trademark brand name that you sell under, reference that it's bundled with such and such products, and use their brand name. Some brands are a little bit pickier than others. Others, you may not have any other problems. But I think it's safe to do. One of the number one websites that does kitting or bundling is Mommy Income. And you can imagine who their target audience is with that sort of brand name. But they're really good kitters, really good bundlers. So there's a podcast you can check out on that. And then for those that would like, check us out at myamazonguy.com. You can get a coaching session with us today. Same day appointments sometimes available for some of our coaches. Other ones are a little bit more booked out. Michael says, launching soon. Should I worry about my competitors leaving negative reviews on my new product? Yes, but you'll have their information if they do that. So it's going to happen. I guarantee it, especially if you're in the supplement space, especially if you're competing against the Chinese or the Russians, but it's 9 out of 10 times it's the Chinese. So I highly recommend just ignoring it and file infringement reports or violation reports to try and get the reviews off. About a 3% chance that'll work. But the more blatant ones can be removed. So is a problem, but yes, not a lot you can do to protect yourself, unfortunately, other than spend lots of money on PPC in the first 2 weeks. If you get lots of orders in the door, it won't matter if you got one negative review on you. Good day, Steven. Good day back to you, Trace. Does not having a patent or trademark seal, but only filed effect when an aggregator will pay for your company? I don't think this is a problem these days. Trademark one, not an issue, because as long as you got the brand registry on Amazon, that's all they care about. Getting thumbs up from Jenna. How did you decide on what supplements and cough drops to buy on Amazon? Reviews, images. Basically, I went to Amazon and I was like, what has zinc and a ton of vitamin C in it? Lots of zinc. Zinc is really crucial during the cold season. Vitamin C and D is definitely the secret combo. I agree with that. Quercetin, I don't know how to say that exactly, but I also take that as well. I bought a bunch of supplements. Got one of these. Vitamin C, D3, and zinc. These are all a dime a dozen. So what I end up doing, I don't know which one is a better formula or whatever. So I just buy them all and I just rotate through them. So like one day I'll take this one day I'll take that one, just to kind of hedge against it a little bit. But yeah, this is the season to be taking some of those vitamins and supplements. That's for sure. We have a few more member questions in queue, and then I'll get to some of the future members in our queue with some of your questions. What's the minimum profit margin for products to work with? I would say 50% gross, typically, 20% net. So if you have an item with a COGS of $5, you should try and make $5 in gross profit, and net profit as little as 2 would be okay. And then sometimes it's like a quantity game to go up on that. So like in grocery though, this would be totally different conversation. Their net margins are significantly smaller. We're saying like 8 to 10% in grocery. And it's a way different beast. Good question. What should our strategy be for Christmas? Well, we told all of our clients for the past 4 months that everybody was going to have stock out events and that they needed to raise their prices for Black Friday. I stand behind that sentiment. However, nobody saw that the economy was going to be in as bad of shape as it is right now. Inflation is sky high. Like we're talking 1% minimum per month inflation in the US dollar right now. And so because of that, buyers are not buying. It's basically returned back to pre-pandemic Amazon levels. So it's normalized. There's no longer an Amazon rush. I think a lot of people quit their jobs in the last 3 or 4 months due to various social and government pressures. And so they don't have as much money to spend for Christmas this year. So Black Friday, a little lackluster is what we saw coming out of that. So what should your strategy be this week, right now, going into this? The only thing that you can control is your traffic and your conversion. Spend money on PPC, and you have to ante up to do it. You're going to have higher costs, 35% higher costs for PPC year to date, and probably even higher during this month. But if you don't do those things, and yes, this is going to hurt your margin, but if you don't do these things, you're going to be falling behind. You have to do them. And the other thing, though, is if you can't make the margin, you should raise your prices. If you haven't raised your prices this season, you need to immediately. Last year, here's a great case example of this. Last year, I did a coaching session with Advanced Supply right here. And in one call, it was actually December 2nd of last year, I told them raise their prices. This was last year. They made an extra $100,000 in net profit. And on camera, they say just as much. So raising prices can be extraordinarily helpful, and I highly recommend it. Let's go to the next question here. Got a nice peace sign right back at you. Wow, we got a lot of future members' questions in the queue. We're not going to get to them all. I'm going to try my best. What is your current view on using gift in title and listings in general? I would try it. I think that the gift keywords are very, very hot. However, be careful that you check for hidden suppressions. What is a hidden suppression? This is something I coined personally. So if you have an ASIN like this, and you take the ASIN and you go all the way to Amazon.com and you type the ASIN in, if the product doesn't show up, it did in this case, but if it didn't, that means you have a hidden suppression. And often the word gift is one of the top culprits for causing a hidden suppression. So I have the word gift basket right here, but in the past, over the last 2 years, we've seen repeatedly that Amazon will suppress the word gift or gifts in your title. So be careful with it, but it is manageable and doable. Can I get a full category listings to be sent to me in Excel instead of text? Just open the file in an Excel file, actually. It will open just fine, Jeff. How do I join the community? Great question. Go to youtube.com/myamazonguy. Hit the join button. If you haven't put a credit card into YouTube before, it may prompt you to do so to be able to see that join button. But yes, that's how you do it. And we hope you do it today. All right, so that's all of our member questions in queue. So now I'm going to start looking for some good future member questions that we have not covered yet. Let's see if we can find a good one here. So why aren't my key product features showing on my product page? Use less than 500 characters. Also use less than 100 in each of the 5 lines. Is this necessary? They show on the back end. This is one you're going to need to file a brand registry ticket to make sure they're using your seller contribution, and maybe even call into Amazon to see why they're not displaying it. Yo, Pope. Last week, I had an Amazon rep email me and ask if I wanted more inventory space. Then after they increased it by 1,000, they reached out to me again asking if I wanted more. Good news, but am I dreaming? You're not dreaming. Amazon sales reps, it's in their power to get inventory limits increased. So we did put out a video on how you can manually request us in tickets, about a 15% success rate with that. But when we used a sales rep, it's 100% success. Takes them about 3 or 5 days to do it. Take advantage of it, Triff. You're one of the very lucky special ones. Not dreaming. Yarrow said Amazon removed our FBM possibility because of low valid tracking rates. 3 of 15 of our tracking numbers were not recognized as correct by Amazon. How to appeal this or just wait? I've never won an appeal on this. Waiting is generally how we get around it, unfortunately. Rafay says, what do you think the best strategy to scale your sales into the holiday season? Not going with high SV keywords related to birthdays because they're mostly generic. So PPC is just obviously the play during December. That is like where you should be spending all of your time. Once December ends, you've got past Christmas. That's when I start focusing again on sourcing and trying to get new products coming to market. Spend all of your time on PPC right now. Maybe a main image redo would also be justifiable during the Christmas season. I've done a bunch of videos on PickFu. And if you haven't checked out PickFu, I highly recommend it. Pickfu.com/myamazonguy for 50% off. And you can figure out if there's a problem with the image. Because do you need to have, like, if we took like a random dog toy, do we need to have a black lab or a white lab with the toy in its mouth? Do we need to have the toy on its paws or in its mouth? These are questions that a PickFu test can help you with to help you get that extra sale this Christmas. When you create variation for a product and also a single listing. So I feel like there's more to this question. How can a vendor upload country-specific images? So if you use the same UPC across multiple countries, sometimes they'll link the data. But if you do a template upload and you have the UPC in the field of that template upload into those other countries, you can customize the content. I do see this bleed even still, especially European countries blurring into other European countries, or like a parentage in Canada that will blur into the US. It can get a little messy. But in general, it is possible to have unique images for each country, and you just need to load them via template upload. Good question. Newest updates you could share from Amazon, policy changes, stuff that is black hat tactics, that not used to be. So rebates are out. Gaming, the search algorithm is out. That's always been out, but now it's out. So don't do any search find buys. Don't do any two-step URLs in mass. You could probably get away with it once or twice, but if you have 5 or 10 people doing it, you're going to get caught. Those things are out. Amazon fees are going to increase again in January, about 3% or so. Annual increase. That's pretty standard for them. Other than that, Amazon has added a lot of new PPC features. So if you log into Seller Central and you haven't poked around a lot of late, you need to. There are so many new segmentation approaches, bid types, modifiers, and advertising options. For example, for the first time ever, you can choose display ads for CPC or CPM, cost per click or cost per impression. That's brand new, all in the last couple of weeks. All right, let's go to the next question. Can I sell a branded product Amazon is already selling? Yes. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a marketplace. However, if you try and sell the wrong item on a branded page, that's when you get into trouble. But what you're describing there, totally fine. And Amazon Guru is promoting their FBA course group to buy each other's products to exchange reviews on their products. Will they get shut down for this? Yes, like 100%. And Amazon is smart enough to see the connection between all of the users. So I highly advise against these strategies. These used to work 2 years ago. They no longer work. Better off doing what? Spend more money on Amazon PPC within Seller Central. That is, without a doubt, the number one strategy right now. Sounds basic, sounds expensive, but it's far superior to any other method for sure. If an Amazon asks a customer to keep a product due to their mistake with shipping and slightly damaging the outer box, then refund the customer. Will Amazon reimburse me, or have I lost that money? Great question. So you need to have a refund sort of product in your back pocket. So I own my refund guide, and this automatically asks Amazon to reimburse for these sort of things. First $500 on the house. If you haven't done anything this year, let's say you get like a $50,000 a month revenue account. I guarantee you that if you haven't done any sort of clawbacks for the full 12 months, there's $5,000 waiting for you in your Amazon account. Who doesn't want $5,000? Go in and request it. We also posted a video about 2 weeks ago where we showed you how to do this for yourself, by yourself without us. And we had several people say they got $500, $1,700, $1,200 in the comment section. So yes, this is legit. It works. So to answer your specific question though, Amazon will give you the money for the item if they damaged it and not the customer, or they will return the item to your inventory. However, you sometimes have to ask them for it. So that's where you really gotta up your game and ticket it and use a service like my refund guy. Grace says, "Hi, Steven. I'm trying to design a patent product in the US that is already patented by someone else in Japan. Do you think this may pose a problem in the future, even if the patent is approved?" Nope. You have to patent your item in every country. So if you patent in the US, you will own the US market and they will own Japan. I don't see any problems here. I'm not a lawyer, not an international patent lawyer, but from my experience, if you patent in the country first, you are the golden goose on that one. What are the pros and cons of letting Amazon selling my product globally? Do you recommend? Depends on the type of product. I would say most accounts, probably 60% of accounts, would not benefit from this. The 40% that would benefit, we're talking 1 to 5% sales increases and potentially 10% more headaches. So that's really where it comes in. You don't have to deal with customs, VAT, taxes, though, so none of those. But you might have to deal with returns and piss off customers when they buy the product that doesn't work in their country. When selecting dispose for my returns, do they really dispose them or liquidate them? Thank you. Yes, they do. They actually destroy them. There's now an option for you to donate them, though. And they do also give you an option to sell them at liquidation pricing, like 3 pennies on the dollar, though. In a way to see some insight on keywords that a product is selling that isn't through PPC. So if you're talking about on your own account or somebody else's account, 2 different questions, but I suspect you're talking about through somebody else's account. And that's where I recommend Helium10. And then, we showcased that earlier in the show where we talked about how the parentage and the X-ray data is not the same for each of the child's variations. But by and large, this is my favorite tool on the market right now. Highly recommend it. I'm going to post a discount code, 50% off Helium10. Check it out and get signed up today, so you can go see who is selling what. Highly recommend the service for everyone, including my own clients. We use it every day. We did that one, did the Christmas story. I'm stuck in a problem. I'm not getting any organic orders, only getting PPC. So Abdullah, you have a hidden suppression would be my bet. Go type your ASIN in a search right now. If it doesn't come up, you have a hidden suppression, which is why you're not indexing for literally anything. Type your ASIN in chat if you feel brave, Abdullah. I will check it out for you and confirm that. Susmita, how to change information and recommendation details in listing quality dashboard if the product is not in that dashboard. Trying to unpack this one a little bit. So if you got a quality alert, like, hey, you haven't filled in the material, just go to the inventory page, hit edit on the inventory item in question. You should be able to fill it in there. Never really had a problem with what you're describing. Michael says, what is the most accurate profit tool that accounts for all Amazon fees for all marketplaces? I'm testing a few tools. I see all tools have a big difference between them. I would say Helium10 is not the most accurate profit tool, but I still think it's the best software stack. So if you've tried Helium10, Michael, and you already use it for your keywords and other things, and you're not liking it, it's not sufficient for your profit tracking, I would understand that. But it's definitely a good enough tool. I give it a B minus. Other tools that are optional available to you, I think Seller Legend is one of them. Profitero might be another. I haven't used either of these tools in well over 12 months personally, but I'm aware of them. And I think the number one problem you're going to probably find, Michael, is the delay in the PPC spend report. That's where I think most of the tools have a hard time. I think the tools do a really good job with COGS analysis. It's the PPC cost that's a little bit delayed sometimes. Are video ads expensive compared to video ads? Are video ads better than PPC ads? Okay. So Robbie, video ads are generally less expensive than most sponsored product ads if you consider the fact that they convert better. So you might have a higher CPC, but your ACOS will be lower. So I think video ads are incredibly important. Hello. Hi, Steve. Right back at you. I'm stuck in invoice creation. What should I do if the invoice button is disposable, and what is the reason behind it? Honestly, I have no idea on this one. If anybody does, feel free to weigh in on that. Apple is good at that. WTB, man. Not sure what that was in reference to since it's been a little bit. I have a listing in the US. Can I open the same listing in Canada? Yes, 100%. If it's consumable or topical, though, you'll have to clear some documentation. Is it expensive to hire an agency to manage PPC? Well, it depends. I mean, if you're spending at least $4,000 a month on PPC, you should be having an expert work on this 100%. I think we pay for ourselves within the first 30 days on PPC. And if you hire us for full service management, I feel like we pay for ourselves in the first 90 days. PPC, though, is the quickest one. It takes more effort to get SEO design and catalog going. And sometimes those results are a little bit lengthier. But those results pay way more dividends long-term, where PPC is kind of short-term. You always have to keep the short-term growth up, but if you neglect your long-term plays in SEO design and catalog, you will regret that. It's a never-ending cycle, as we talked about. Got to keep your PPC catalog, SEO, and design going. I had a question yesterday. Why do I call it catalog? Well, Amazon is a catalog. Just like you back in the day, you had a Sears catalog. You open up the pages, you see the products. Amazon is a catalog, and you got to be able to position your product properly in that catalog. You got to have your copy done correctly. You got to have the right images in the right spot. You're merchandising the right SKUs, trying to find the right customer at the right price at the right time. That's merchandising. That's why I call it catalog work. What is the best practice to rate the title of a product? All right, well, we could spend a full hour on this one if we wanted. Let's see. How can we do this one in 30 seconds? Let me think about that. So, in my opinion, getting a keyword into the first, and this is my competitor's product, so we'll go to mine here. Getting your top keywords into the front of the title is the most important thing. So we don't put our brand name in the front typically, even though you're supposed to. We typically don't. We get away with it. At some point, it will become a problem, I'm sure. But I think having the first 5 words followed by a hyphen, highly recommend that. And putting in soap bar for my soap bar product in the first 5 words can be very beneficial. Notice how in the canonical URL of the URL in the bar right here, it shows exactly what we wrote word for word. You don't have to set the canonical URL this way. It's just the easiest way to do it. You can also file tickets to get them to set the canonical URL. They'll do it for you. But chock full of content, keywords, reasons for the consumer to buy, features, all of these things are really important. Title used to be, in my opinion, the most important. It's now not, though, as much as the main photo. We ran so many tests on main photo to improve our click-through rate to try and make sure more people got to my listing before then. The title, though, has a massive impact on indexing. And I do recommend updating your title every so often to try and get additional traffic to the listing, because it can be very, very beneficial. So chock full of keywords. The other thing, Abdullah, I would look at your top 10 competitors. I would then sort your top 10 competitors indexing by volumes and words that they're in the top 10 for, and then go down the list and figure out, okay, if 6 of my competitors are in the top 10 for a 5,000 volume keyword, obviously that needs to be in my title. That's kind of my 30-second answer for you. What's the maximum number of sellers on Amazon listing for an Amazon FBA wholesale? There is no maximum to my knowledge. I've seen as many as 25, but I could be wrong. Maybe there is a max. If you know of a max, post it in the chat. What's the minimum ROI for Amazon FBA wholesale? Probably 10% because you don't have to do any brand development. You're just showing up and selling it. And often the case, you don't even do ads. Getting suspended as well as locked by Amazon due to Section 3 suspension due to late shipment. What's the best way to move forward is we can't have access to Seller Central now. Can't even log in. I would make sure you ship via FBA and file an appeal by email. Your alternative option would be to open a new account under a new LLC with new credit card, new email address. Just be careful with that. Sometimes they'll link those back to the suspended account. I would fight the appeal if at all possible. But if you're locked out of the account, you can't even log in. That is the kiss of death. You're in pretty bad shape, my friend. I'm stuck in a problem not getting any organic order. All right, we covered that one. Buy box wins percentage on Seller Central dashboard fluctuating wildly. In the morning, is it different? And later in the day, it's different. What is the reason for this? There could be somebody that's showing up on your detail page and then going away and hiding. That's probably that actually probably is the answer. So they're showing up and then they're deactivating the listings so that when you're not looking, you don't see them. That could be a problem. So what I would do is I would get a buy box tool to monitor that. And Helium10 can enable that for you, by the way. It's another value add to that tool. What's the maximum number? Done that. All right. I feel like I've got a couple of people writing the same question multiple times. Why is it important to show registered brand name and related ASINs on the brand catalog manager page? Not sure how to answer that one. But your trademark is critical. You have to have, let's see, you got a little bit more info. Even bids are set up as suggested on exact campaigns. Keywords are not getting any impressions for a few days. What is the reason why keywords don't get any impressions? Is the keyword in the copy of the detail page? If not, you need to add it. That's the number one reason why. Number two, are your ads suspended? Did they mark your product as an adult product? We have a client that sells rope ratchets, and they got marked for adult because somebody posted a product review using the ropes in a risky kind of way. Not in our content, it was a product review. They got marked for adult. So you had to ticket that, get the adult flag removed. So I would check for that, and I would call in on that one specifically. That needs to call in. What do you think about Amazon Handmade? It's not as good as Etsy. It's okay. We have some clients that are all in on Handmade, though, and that's all they do because they customize things. Do you think it'd be best if we stick to regular selling platform? Seller Central is way bigger than Handmade for sure. I have Handmade products and other items that are not handmade. I mean, why not do both? Why not have Handmade for your handmade stuff? See what happens. How important is it to test an A/B split image to improve conversion? Critical. You need to be doing this. If you haven't run tests to see like what's the best way to present your product, I'm telling you, you're leaving sales on the table. People are getting really sophisticated on click-through rate right now. Thanks for the session. You're very welcome. If you liked today's session, I'm not wrapped up yet, but if you liked today's session, post your thanks in the comment section. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. I'll put it up on screen when we end, and I appreciate everybody's thanks in advance. Leon says, is there a way to know what and how much reviews a specific ASIN have? As of now, I have a listing with ASIN variations and reviews are combined. Yes, bagels.io. You can download the reviews all in one shot per child ASIN. Really cool tool. 3 weeks now since my 2 products are being reviewed under Hazmat. Still not been accepted yet. Now they're asking for an SDS that I uploaded already. Not sure what exactly they are looking for. So I would ticket this every 48 hours. I would reload the SDS in multiple places, including the case file, as well as the Hazmat upload section, and cite that. Sometimes when I've done this in the past, I've had problems getting my PDF to submit. So what I would also do is I would put your SDS into a non-PDF form and try and submit it again on the Hazmat platform. This is a very niche answer, but I know this will help you. Switch it up. It'll work. This is the ASIN not getting any organic orders for. Let's see if we can look this one up. And of course, I typed it in the wrong spot. Let's try that again. Bravo 08, Charlie, Sam 3, Yellow, Kangaroo 86. And I don't, maybe I typo this. Let's see if, I don't think it's case sensitive. Could be wrong on that. B08. Is that an O? Is that O, or is it look like a 0? I can't copy and paste directly from the place where I do the StreamYard. All right, here we go. So it's not hidden suppression. We knocked that out. Let's pull up the keyword report and let's see how many sales are on it. So lots of sales, really decent BSR right now. You had some out of stock problems. That's definitely going to hurt your SEO. So if we go over to Helium10 and take a look at this and see what this looks like. Let's see how many keywords are indexed. 1,100. So it's actually in pretty good shape as far as I can tell, Abdullah. But you're not in the top 10 for very many. So my prognosis here, it's just because of your stockouts and the fact that you really weren't doing much until December. And so I think this will probably fix itself over time, but you need to spend a lot of money on PPC to fix your SEO keyword rankings. Brady says, Michael, I like Seller Board for profit tracking. That one's not on my radar yet. If anybody else likes that one, let me know. How's your Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales? I was down on my own account 35% year over year. And this is with me launching a brand new brand. Nobody is buying my wine glasses right now. I think this is more to do with the economy than my efforts. But yes, so I have all these great branded items and wine glasses with thousands and thousands of reviews. I have tried to lower the price of this item right here down to $9.99 to try and get it to move up. It's actually in the top 1,000 BSR right now for all of home and goods. It's selling well, but I still have way too many of these because they banned me from ads back in February. I've been sitting on a ton of them. So I'm like, okay, I just got to get these out. So I'm trying to disco it. But yeah, 50% down or 35% down year over year on my account, 50% down specifically on my glassware. So it's been really rough for me. In general, though, I would say my clientele is static. So not down, but static. And that's just because, as an agency, it's not a very comfortable position to say, hey, Mr. Client, Mrs. Client, we prevented your sales from going down further. Or, hey, your sales are static and we did a great job because they didn't go down. Not a great position to hold as an agency, but it's the God honest truth. Right now, things are pretty harsh in lackluster sales land. And I think it's just because of buyer sentiment is down. So you're not alone. Everybody's in the same boat with this one. Good question. Raised my prices to fight inflation a while back, but not one of my competitors has. Think I should go back down at this point. It depends. Did your sales conversion rate dip when you raised your prices? If no, keep the price high. Remember, if you win on price today, you're going to lose on price tomorrow. You got to build a community. You need to put product inserts in your products where you take and offer an incentive to take a picture of your product and post it on Instagram with a hashtag. There's your influencer hack of the day. Give them $5 in value, $20 in value, whatever you seem appropriate, to have them post a picture of them using your product. It will make massive dividends. There's no max number of sellers for wholesaler arbitrage. You are correct. Woohoo! Guess that one. For supplements, what would be the ACOS tacos in the first 90 days? Probably 50% tacos and 120% ACOS. Supplements takes a long time to get going. All right, so we're wrapping up our podcast. We're going to read a few comments before we hit the end button. This is our show, My Amazon Guy. I'm your host, Stephen Pope, and the founder of My Amazon Guy. If you haven't booked a call to talk about hiring us, check us out at myamazonguy.com today. We'll grow your sales faster or solve a problem for you along the way. Thank you, Steve. Best part of the Friday is your session, says Patrick. Michael says, thank you. Caplish, you are the Wikipedia of Amazon selling, Stephen. Oh, that comment right there. Right there. That one hit me in the feel goods, Caplish. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that compliment. I got goosebumps, guys. Like, I'll zoom in. Goosebumps. Thank you, Caplish. That one make me feel good. Let's see. We got a couple highs coming in from Ashley. And an Imi says, thank you. Abdullah says, thank you, Steve. Bradley Sutton, Helium10, recently visited Pakistan. Now I'm waiting for your visit to Pakistan. You might be waiting a while on that one. I'm an introvert who likes to stay home, but I will be at Prosper this year for anybody that wants to shake hands. Louis says, thanks. You guys are great. You guys are a hoot. Thanks for all the great questions. We usually get about 100 questions every Friday. I try and answer as many of them as I can. Don't forget, go back to the playlist for last week's. We have plenty of other videos where lots of questions came in. You don't want to miss it. See you next Friday, noon Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one.